You know who's up when you hear the funky music. That three-point sniper, that NBA champion, our man Eddie House. What up, bro?
Eddie,
So what's happening, brothers? Man, it's been a minute. It's been a
I
minute.
it
know. I
has.
don't know. Happy New Year. Have we had you on since the New Year?
No, we haven't, but it's getting a
Okay.
little long for that. But Happy New Year to
Yeah.
you too, brother.
It's
Hey,
darn
hey,
near
and speaking of
February.
that, God bless Cicely Tyson Soul. Let's say that
Yes.
for, but sign me up for 96 as long as I can
Right.
wipe my booty. As if I could do that myself, I'm cool. Just keep me there.
You
No,
right
no,
about that,
no doubt
man. You
about it.
right about
Did you
that.
know Sekou Smith too, Eddie? Did you know him
Yeah,
at all?
yeah. I'm not like personally, but
Right.
throughout the business, just bumping into him a few times. Yeah, God bless his soul as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a tough stretch here, man. People been falling off, man. That's why we got to thank God for what we have, man.
No doubt.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we don't have as long as usual, but let's get to it. Last
Let's do it.
night, Philadelphia beats the Lakers. Magic Johnson tweeted before the game it was a fine NBA Finals preview. What are your thoughts on that?
I won't say that right now. I think there's still teams that the 76ers, even though they're top of the Eastern Conference right now, I still think you have to look at Milwaukee. They've been a team that's been there. That you have to, and the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, come on, they
That's
three of
my
the.
favorite, both of us.
I'm just saying, they're figuring it out, and they're doing it, on the fly. They didn't have a training camp. They had
Right.
Kyrie go on a hiatus. But what I love about all of this, we know they got a capable scorer that could lead the league in scoring, and he's out there being a
Three of them.
facilitator. But he's
Right,
being a
right. He is
facilitator
right.
at the time, and that is scary because what he is able to do is get all them off, not worry about shots, still finish with 20, 22. But if
Right.
he turns it on while they got it on, the object of the game is put the ball in the hole, right, and try to stop somebody from doing it. They got three guys that's pretty tough to stop from putting the ball in the hole.
Let me ask you all this pushback. There was an interview with Charles Barkley with The Athletic today talking about the criticism from some players. They don't like what Shaq is saying and what Charles has said and some of the things. I get it. There's a lot more with social media, Eddie, than when you played. But are guys a little too sensitive? Like the idea, first they had a problem with Chris Broussard or Stephen A. or me or Skip or criticizing
And they
them.
said we
And
didn't
we
play.
didn't play, so we don't know what we're talking about. Now they're mad that Charles Barkley and Shaq, who both played at the high level and are their contemporaries for the most part, they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, which one is it?
I think it's a combination of both. But number one, I think it is really their sensitivity. Charles played in a grown man's league. Shaq played in a grown man's league. I came in a grown man's league, and on my way out, it started getting younger and younger. I think that when we are criticizing or we are analyzing somebody's game, we got to also remember that's an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old, 22-year-old. That is a kid right there. So think about how sensitive kids are. You could yell at a kid and he could start crying. You could yell at a grown man and he won't say nothing. He just, hey, okay, I understand, whatever. We could go our separate ways. But it's certain things that strike a nerve in youngsters when you are young. You have a sensitive button that could be pressed. And that is not that's just the way the league is now. They're extremely young. So what they do is also when they take in a constructive criticism, they taking it personal as opposed to and looking at it as like, oh man, it's a grumpy old man. Because nowadays a lot of these guys don't even know what some of these players did. I was just talking to a young kid today that plays on our team, and he's called them, oh, man, they're just old heads talking about the game. And I try to tell him, no, Shaq and Charles is
Two of the
not just
best
no old
ever
heads.
do it.
It's only been 4,500 players that played in the league, something like that.
Right.
So, and
Right.
these are Hall of Famers. They have an opportunity to speak on what they know. And if you played at the highest level, you definitely get the right to speak. So I think that's where it goes. They lost touch of what really it is and how the grind has went because it's been not easy for them to get there, but the path is a lot easier because it's getting younger and younger. So if I'm able to get there at 19 years old, where sometimes it maybe took somebody to get there when they was 23, 24, it's a different type of grind.
I want to go back to Brooklyn, Eddie, and you mentioned the offense, and it's a lot of my turn, your turn, but still, they're putting up 120, 130 points a night. Defense is obviously the big question mark. And none of those guys, Durant is a good defender, but Kyrie not so much, Harden not so much. And, they gave up Jared Allen. DeAndre Jordan's a little older. I want to ask you, because I know in the NBA it is more about team defense. It's more about effort, commitment to it. How do you turn a team like that doesn't have great individual defenders, and I believe you can do it, right, into a good enough defensive team?
Well, you hit it on the head when you said it's a team thing. I'm not asking one person to stop another guy. I'm asking him to give him some resistance, but let's have some help for him. And whoever it is, we go from top to bottom. And I think Jordan, you say he's long in the tooth. Yeah, he's a little older, but he's still 7 feet tall. He still can change some shots at the rim. Will he be blocking shots like maybe he would be able to? The athleticism might not be exactly the same, but that's a 7-foot frame, and that can still change shots at the rim or at least make somebody make a bad decision as he was going up. Now he's looking to make a pass. And you don't leave your feet when you make a pass. That's rule number 1 in basketball. But so I think that if they spend time on it, now this is the thing. If they spend time on it, who do they have on their bench? They have Steve Nash, love him to death, former teammate, great player. Really wasn't known for his defensive prowess. You got Mike D'Antoni, another guy that never, and I played for him. We never spent time on the defensive end as far as watching film and trying to get better. So if they can just spend a little bit more time, spend half of the time that you used to spend on it on defense, I think that they could be a better defensive team because you got players that are willing to be better defensive players. You look at James Harden; he's got better over the years when people talked about it.
Right.
I think you have willing players. It's just a matter of can you put that all together and make them buy in.
All right, Eddie.
All right. We
Appreciate
got to you late, man, so we're going to have to cut it short, but we'll get you back on very soon.
No problem,
Eddie,
man. You guys take care.
Eddie, I
need
a yes or no real quick. Yes or no. Kurt Schilling, Hall of Famer. Yes or no, Eddie?
Woo. I'll put him in, man. He got the win.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm
gonna
text you my column I wrote about him. I'm gonna text you the column. All
text
right.
me. I need to read it, but what I feel like he's there. Arizona Diamondbacks, what he did with the Red Sox. Come on, man.
Yes, 3 championships.
It's tough not to give him that credit.
I'm sending it to you.
Eddie knows his baseball, Rob. You know that.
To me.
All right, that's our man E House. Take care, brother. All right, Rob. I asked Eddie House this question. I'm going to ask it to you. Was last night Lakers-Sixers a finals preview for the NBA?
Not in my estimation. Doesn't Doc Rivers coach the 76ers?
Ooh.
Oh,
wow.
What?
Shots fired.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm
not
there.
there.
He struggled with the Clippers. I mean,
I'm not
might
there.
Be too much, but he didn't get it done.
Yeah, he didn't get it done when he had his squad. I'm not there yet. I know the Sixers are playing well. I think ultimately, because I don't think Brooklyn is finished. I think they'll add Chris a piece or two and a big man. Andre Drummond. That rumor's out there that the Cavaliers might part ways with him. He could go to Brooklyn. That would help immediately. Yeah, I'm not all in on Philadelphia. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in on the Lakers, although I think the Clippers will be tough. I think they will meet this year in the Western Conference Finals. I think Ty Lue is doing a great job. Kawhi has looks like, the necessary attitude adjustment. And give him credit, Paul George, Rob, is balling. Shooting 48% from 3. I mean, some of these guys are shooting so well from 3, it's just unbelievable. We'll see if he keeps it up, but he's taking about 7 or 8 threes a game and hitting basically half of them. That is impressive, and we know they play defense, those two. So I'm in on the Lakers, though. I want to see AD. We talked about him. He's got to pick it up and play better. But you're right. In the East, that's the question mark for me. And I got Brooklyn. They got 3 guys that are unstoppable.
You saw their box score, Chris, almost every night. God. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's like 31,
so many open shots,
35, 30, 29. Yeah, every night.
Shot they take could be an open shot.
Right.
I mean, Harden and Durant, especially, and including Kyrie too, but especially Harden and Durant, They can make shots that are contested, but with those three on the floor, with
Somebody's
the way they can all
open.
penetrate all the time. Now, defensively, I like Eddie said, it's just a matter of commitment. And I think, look, Emi Udoka, Jock Vaughn, some of those other assistants, hopefully they're listening to those guys. Because Udoka knows that defense is important coming from San Antonio. I imagine maybe Jacques Vaughn knows that. Nash probably knows it, but, hopefully they're working on it. But that's the thing. So, yeah, now with Philly, 2 question marks. One, Simmons still has to start shooting some jumpers. It's in his head, man, because I'm told he shoots them in practice. He shoots threes. He shoots
You're in
J's.
the NBA. What are you afraid of at this point, Chris?
Yeah,
it's not like you're
it's
7
clearly
and
a
you're
mental
afraid to
block.
shoot
Right.
because you might shoot an air ball. You're in the NBA
He might
making
shoot
millions
an air
of
ball,
dollars.
but, right.
Huh?
I mean, he might shoot an air ball, but he's fearful of shooting an air ball. I really think that. And he's got to get over it because we know he can't really shoot that well. So nobody's going to mock him if he misses them. But he's got to take them. And the other thing, and look, Joel Embiid, Rob, is having a great year, MVP year. He might very well win it if it were voted on today. It'd be between him and LeBron, I believe.
No, he's playing well. There's
Right.
no doubt about it. I mean, there's no doubt.
But I will say this, and I talked about this on First Things First this morning. Philly fans got mad. He still isn't at the rim enough for me. Now, he does lead the league in post-ups, but a lot of his post-ups are 12, 13 feet from the rim, 15 feet from the rim. And as soon as he catches it, he's facing up. So he's playing a lot, and then a lot of times he's out high at the three-point line, at the elbow, at the free throw line. He's 25th in the league in points in the paint and 45th in paint
That ain't good.
touches.
That
Think
ain't
about
good
that.
enough. That ain't good
Now, I
enough.
know he gets fouled some, but still, he's 45th in paint touches. And to me, is just selling themselves a little short. Like, that's an added advantage, Rob, that virtually no other team has. And they should be taking advantage of it a little more. I mean, I like that he shoots the mid-range J so well, but a little more, I think he needs to be closer to the rim. All right, Rob. Bradley Beal. Look, I'm going to give Bradley Beal some credit. He is balling. I mean, he's putting up points. And he's not just gunning. His percentage is decent. Leading the league in scoring, Rob. 35 points a game. Last night dropped 47, even though he took the L, which he's been doing pretty much every time out. They're 3-10, and he has not demanded a trade, but some think that's coming. He said, look, I signed here. I guess this is a nod to you. He signed the contract there. He said, I want to win here. I'll stay here. I'm trying to win. I mean, that's his feeling right now. But, a lot of people I thought they might be decent if they, with Westbrook, or at least maybe have a shot at making the playoffs. But it hadn't been the case.
No. Well, I said it was NBA Siberia and that Westbrook was probably banished to Washington. It's just a bad situation there, a bad thing. And Beal, I give
and the
credit.
thing is,
I give him credit that he said, hey, I signed a deal. I'm here.
Right.
I'm not going to bellyache. Everybody can't get the same hand all the time. And he's trying to make it work. So I'm not mad at him for trying to make it work. But it's a bad situation.
They were in the playoffs. Remember, when John Wall was healthy, they made it, I believe, 4 out of 5 years. That was up until about 3 years ago. So, I mean, I do agree. I do think Washington is just a bad franchise. Like, you look at the Gilbert Arenas problems. They had Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber, and those Juwan Howard, and they couldn't make it. I don't know if they had Juwan. I don't remember if they had him or not. But they had Weber and Rasheed, and they couldn't make anything out of that. Rod Strickland. Like, they've had good players, but it always just seems to go south somehow. And, Westbrook, I said this when the trade was made, Rob, he may never play a significant basketball game again in his career. Like, a playoff game with meaning.
No,
Even if they
where,
get
where
there,
they
might
are,
be the AC.
unless they get somehow draft some guy who comes out of nowhere and is some star, that we don't know. But yeah, he's in a bad spot as well. So Washington has been bad for a long time.
3-11 this year. But look, I will say this. It's a new team. Westbrook takes a while to get used to. So maybe, they can turn it around and start winning some games, but we'll see.